Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Trinergy's Never Say Die EP Ultimate 5 years on. I've had a bit of a desire recently to embark on making a few more retrospective videos for the channel, you know, videos of that kind, of that ilk, looking back a little bit, projects that are at least 5 years old. I think that's a good amount of time to look at something in that way, in that retrospective fashion, if you will. And given that we are in the year 2023 at current, that takes us all the way back to 2018, which, if you'll remember right, was quite the golden year for modern dubstep. And EPs in particular. You had Sudden Death with Void Volume 1 and Junk World in one year, which is quite mad to think. You had Overdrive by Space Laces, you had German Engineering by Virtual Riot, Decimate by Mastodon, or Marauder as he's known now. You had Anti-Human by Eptic. You had Peekaboo breaking through with his Imposters and Maniac EPs, which, you know, maybe not fully modern dubstep, but a kind of subgenre of that in freeform bass. Then you had Experience Points by Chime. You had a debut Panda Eyes Disciple EP. You had Subtronics on Never Say Die as well. But in amidst all of those, there's another EP that tends to go a little bit more under the radar in the conversation of great EPs, not only of that year, but of the 2010s overall, in which in my eyes has absolutely reached classic status after celebrating its 5th birthday just a few days ago. Ultimate by Trinergy. Damn, half a decade, you know? Absolutely wild. Andrei Shevatov, also known as Trinergy, who had steadily been working his way up through the bass ranks, mainly releasing with the now defunct Firepower Records. Well, actually, I say it's defunct. Is it? I just kind of assume it is, because who in their right mind would want to release on that label now? Being pretty consistent with a uniquely quirky robotic sound and grand musicality and a lot of drama to go with that as well. The Injection EP series that he dropped during his time at Firepower, with the syringe branding and the Doctor artworks and stuff like that, it all tied up pretty well, with fantastic remixes and collaborations to go with that too. He'd actually become a part of the Never Say Die family before Ultimate with Jabberwock alongside Stabby on Never Say Die Volume 5. Basically, you could say that he'd firmly established himself as one of the most severely underrated dubstep producers given his talent level, until he was rated and picked up by Schism to drop his latest batch of tracks titled Ultimate on Schism's Never Say Die label, the biggest label in the scene at the time. RIP. And at this point you might be sat there wondering, well, Connor, what makes Ultimate a classic? What is it about it that makes it so timeless? Well, musical projects, I think, can be classic in many different ways, and different ones for different people, and whatnot. For me, classic would indicate something timeless about it, a track or a collection of tracks that will stand the test of time and continue to be good no matter how much time passes. A project of multiple tracks wouldn't be timeless unless it was consistently good, memorable, or impactful across the majority of it, and that's exactly what Ultimate has going for it. Because all 5 cuts that we get here are, to me anyway, extremely memorable and impactful in some way. Whether it's the opener Carnage with its beautiful storytime-like melody bringing in the EP and the fantastic ricocheting effect in parts of the heaviness where you can really hear the Evil Wave input as well, who collabs with Trinergy on that track, or my personal favourite Bounce, which also shows off gorgeous magisterial melodic work and the fantastic vocal sampling to go with it, the twisted, gurgled, robotic dubstep, just classic Trinergy. The middle track Everybody Move, which probably has the most colossal drops when it comes to the first impact of each one when they come in. Very contorted heaviness again, and I also love the main vocal sample we get there too. Everybody move, move, everybody move, move, move. Everybody. Melodic prowess is also very striking and apparent on Humpty Dumpty, which has maybe my favourite vocal sampling on the whole EP with that ooh whoa, and then also beyond that those little Never Say Die tags before a couple of drops we get here. Never Say Die. And then Catch the Wave with Nitro Fun and The Brig, which just sounds like a very joyful dream where the chemistry between all 3 of them is really good, and it's just a super fun track overall and a great note to finish on. That little trancey midsection that we get there is potentially the best sequence on the entire EP as well. Yeah, pretty time-stopping stuff. So yeah, all the tracks have several fantastic aspects or facets to them, but establishing more similarities here and talking a little bit more generally, I think the melodies and the musicality are fantastic across the board, and that's what gives Ultimate its charm, its replay factor, its catchiness, that I have to say barely any dubstep put out today actually has. The production's really good throughout, and the transitioning that we get between wildly different sections within each tune is really seamless. seamless and it all works. To be fair, yeah, not all the heaviness is gripping that we get here, but there's enough surrounding that in each cut to keep each individual tune, and therefore the EP overall ticking along really well. With his design, his aesthetic stamped all over it from start to finish, you know, very much constituting as his I'm Him moment, if you will, his defining project on Lest We Forget Again, the biggest label of all. In the same way that Space Laces gave us Overdrive, on the same label, don't forget, and just a couple of weeks before Ultimate, as a project I think for Space Laces that kind of truly and properly announced him, and Ultimate was that same thing for Trinergy. So yeah, Ultimate, it's a classic for me. I mean, it isn't perfect, I'm not saying that, but with the amount of good going on across the whole collection, it just doesn't have to be perfect to classify as that, as a classic. And it is still mad to think, given how glowing and full of praise I've been for Trinergy and for this collection overall, that he's moved on from that project completely. For the last couple of years or so, venturing into a new project, which is a bit more hyperpop based, called Trini. Yeah, just called Trini now. But something I'm very sure of, and which I hope I've made clear in this particular video, is that he more than left his mark on bass music with the Ultimate collection, that after 5 years has definitely stood the test of time, in my opinion, and which will continue to do so as time goes on in this scene. And which for me generally deserves a lot more praise, a lot more recognition in this sphere of music, given how rare it is that you have every track on a dubstep EP be fantastic, memorable, impactful in at least some way, and each cut here, in my opinion, does that in multiple ways, facets, aspects, etc. So yeah, it's very fucking good. It's a classic for your boy. But yeah, guys, those are my updated thoughts on the Ultimate EP from Trinergy on Never Say Die. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. But yeah, now I want to hear from all of you. Is Ultimate a classic for you? Have you even heard it before? Maybe you haven't. Or did you hear it when it came out? Have your views and your opinions on it changed hearing it again with a few years having passed? Yeah, give it another run through if you have heard it before, even if you haven't. And drop all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Link down below in the description box is my Patreon. If you want to go and check that out, help support the channel for a small monthly fee. You get a load of exclusive content, bonus content, whatever you want to call it. Helps keep the channel going. If you like what I do, if you value what I do, I would massively appreciate you guys checking it out. But beyond that, see you in the next one, whatever that might be, and keep it naughty until then. Peace.